This is the Sunday Motivational Video. Every Sunday, we bring you a different type of video, which should improve your life. Today, we're looking at 15 reasons why people don't find love. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, A-Luxers, and welcome back to our channel. Today it's all about a special topic, love. The complicated feelings we have about love, or rather the lack of love in our lives, is well documented in songs, movies, or books, but we rarely take the time to analyze them better. And while those super catchy love songs are very relatable, there are some problems in the way they portray relationships. The truth is that real love is complicated, and real-life relationships are hard. More often than not, successful relationships take a lot of patience, time, and a good dose of setting the right expectations. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. So, whether you're now in a relationship or are currently searching for one, sit back, relax, and enjoy our list of 15 reasons why people don't find love. Number 1. You're looking for the wrong traits. What do you look for when you're looking for love? Some people even make a list or have a fixed idea about the person they're going to marry. If only he or she would come along already. The problem with this thinking is that you don't even realize what's wrong with the list itself. Many of the traits we usually associate with the perfect partner are actually bad for your relationship. Take, for instance, I want a spouse who never complains. That can be okay for a while, but when things get tough, this person will bottle up their feelings, and you won't have the opportunity to fix your relationship problems. Not to mention that good looks, social status, and money might be important for you, but if you're only looking for that, it's very likely it's not going to work out. So maybe it's time to look for someone responsible and considerate before cool and hot. Number 2. You have unrealistic standards. When we first fall in love, we invariably only see the good aspects about a person's personality or their behavior. Nothing can be bad about your new girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Unfortunately, this image will start to fall apart after a few months when you realize that they're only human. And that's what you should be looking for anyway. Setting way too high or unrealistic standards is a way to ensure yourself that you're never going to find someone. For example, you want to marry a hot billionaire who can fly planes? How realistic is that? In order to find out, take a look in the mirror. What do you have to offer? Because a lot of the time, the trouble with people is that they attract who they are. So you might want to look at yourself first in order to find out who might be attracted to you. Not happy with who you are? Well, start working on yourself, and you might find that one perfect human you're so desperately searching for. Number 3. You have low self-esteem. Look, it's not something that you might be willing to admit or even realize, but it's better to be honest with yourself before going on a search for the one. There's no shame in trying to fix your low self-confidence or how you see yourself. Self-esteem issues usually start in childhood and won't go away unless you work them out. Common signs include the tendency to apologize way too much, poor social skills, not taking credit for your accomplishments, and telling way too many self-deprecating jokes. It can even be bad for your finances since you buy things to impress other people, including stuff you don't actually like. Finding someone won't fix your confidence issues. It just tricks you into feeling better about yourself since you receive external validation. But be careful not to fall into the trap because you might end up unhappy when the other person fails to meet your validation expectations. Number 4. You're way too needy. You know that weird feeling of incompleteness most of us feel in times of loneliness and sadness? Neediness is a state of mind in which you feel incomplete and alone and want to fill this need with the validation of another human, most of the time in the form of a relationship. Not being able to deal with some loneliness every once in a while is dangerous for you, since there's no person in the world that will be able to cure the existential void we all carry inside. And that's a fact scientists spent a lot of time researching. Remember this, if you were unhappy before a relationship, chances are you'll feel unhappy in it after all the butterflies go away. What you need to do is start improving the relationship with yourself and to embrace every feeling you have. Dig the reasons and start building the best version of you. Number 5, you're stuck in the past. Going through a breakup is usually very difficult to do, and it's absolutely normal to feel like you don't want to date for a while. However, as relationship expert Barry Selby puts it, this is a valid reason if it's only been a few weeks or even a month or two. Everyone is different, and you can't really put an expiry date on how long you're supposed to grieve after a relationship ends. However, if it's been more than a year and you're still hung up on that one person or keeping yourself at a distance, you might need to start exploring what's keeping you back from dating again, because things might be a little bit more complicated than they seem. Are you still hurting and didn't get the chance to get some closure? Maybe it's time to call that ex and set some things straight in order to move on. Do you miss certain things you used to do together? You might find similar traits in someone else. Are you secretly hoping that you'll get back together and want to make yourself available for the future occasion? Well, you know what they say, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. Why not allow yourself to explore other alternatives in the meantime? Number 6, you're not actually searching for love. This may sound like a no-brainer, right? Well, the truth is, most people won't really know what they're searching for and end up feeling miserable and unhappy for the wrong reasons. Love is a great feeling to search for, and shared love is what most of us aspire to, but stop for a moment and think about it. Are you sure a partner is what you need at the moment? Are you sure you're putting in the effort to find your significant other? Because being caught in a routine and not stepping out of your comfort zone and out of your friend circle might hurt the ability to find someone to share your feelings with. Or maybe you're just looking for sporadic affection, but you don't really want to invest time and energy into a relationship, in which case, maybe a dog will do. Number 7, you don't love yourself enough. Even if it sounds like an annoying cliche, trust us, you have to love yourself to love somebody else. Putting yourself first isn't selfish, and people can exploit this side of you if you're not careful. Having healthy self-esteem is probably the most underrated trait when searching for love. Many successful people got to where they are because they trusted themselves enough and have a realistic image of who they are. In addition, people find confidence sexy, and if you love yourself, you'll make others see how awesome you really are. So next time you go on a date, remember that at the end of the day, your relationship with yourself is the longest and most important relationship you will ever have. So you'd better start liking yourself and cheer for yourself a lot more from now on. Number 8, you don't work on yourself. Remember that validation thing? Look, we all want to be praised, respected, and admired. We want people to notice things about us. But sometimes, this need is taken to an extreme. Oftentimes, we worry so much about what others think that we do nothing or not enough for ourselves. Plus, it's very convenient just to sit around and complain about not finding someone because it's not you, it's them. Again, it's hard to work on yourself, but in the end, it is so worth it. You don't even have to change many things since you can prioritize different aspects, such as your job, starting a fitness regimen, or becoming more social. And even if you don't get into a relationship, think of the rewards you'll reap later on, like a better job, maybe a greater career perspective ahead, or networking. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to improving yourself, and while staying in the comfort zone is nice, all the fun and excitement happens outside of it. Number 9, you're always looking for the next best thing. Sure, it's okay to be picky sometimes, and why should you settle for less than you deserve? Again, it all comes down to expectations and has to do more with our consumerist culture than you'd expect. We have countless dating sites like Match.com or apps like Tinder that offer us access to as many people as you want, yet how many of them actually bring people together? Especially with apps, you're always browsing, swiping, or scrolling and end up dissatisfied with everyone you meet. This creates a vicious cycle since you're hopping from one date to another and never let actual feelings take shape. You don't have to like every single person that you go out with, but giving someone a chance for once can actually result in lasting love. Just slow down for a bit when it comes to love, especially if finding the one is your goal at the moment. Number 10. You don't know what to do with your life. This one is tricky because many people don't actually know what they want to do in life. The problem with this is you waver between things. Avoid making decisions, and having no direction can be bad for your love life too. Plus, having goals and the actual pursuit of them can make you very attractive, and that is a fact. The basis of a healthy relationship is often two people who have their own life to live. Also, be very mindful of the balance between pursuing your goals and finding a partner, as they sometimes complement each other. And who knows, maybe deciding to become a freelancer or moving to a different city will lead you to meeting your soulmate. Not to mention that it will raise your standards, and you'll start attracting even more interesting people. And if you want to move to another place on Earth, make sure to check out our 10 most beautiful islands in the world video to get some inspiration for your next escape. Number 11. You don't prioritize love. It's all great if you don't actually want a relationship and mean it. Oftentimes, we are asked why we are single. We give the half-hearted, too busy with work excuse. But in reality, the excuse is very valid. Nowadays, people work long hours and cram their schedule with all kinds of activities. What you don't realize is that if you want to find love, you'll actually have to invest in it. That means spending time with someone and genuinely getting to know people. We all know those people that check their phones constantly while on a date, or end up ghosting you because they don't want to do anything to make it work. But avoiding love when you really want it is a way of self-sabotage, and making excuses, like being too busy for it, might actually cover up for other insecurities and hurt you face when trying to move into a relationship. As we keep saying, A-Luxers, make sure to take a look at yourself before deciding the real reasons you haven't found love at the moment, and stop blaming the external factors for 5 minutes. Number 12. You worry about commitment. The image of settling down, owning a house, having kids, and so on might make some of you cringe. Plus, people refuse to settle down because they think that there's someone better out there, that mythical soulmate that will have everything on the list and more. The truth is, you might be more afraid of commitment than not finding the one who's the whole package. Oftentimes, people who do this have unrealistic expectations and forget the real value of a relationship. For example, a person might be always late, but they genuinely care about you, or their job isn't impressive, but they'll go out of their way to make you happy. And most of all, you're not going to be the whole package yourself, so demanding that from someone else is only going to hurt your chances in the long run. Think for a bit about the reasons you don't want commitment. Maybe there's something in your childhood affecting you, or a past relationship that went wrong. Deal with the issue, and then find a way to find love. Number 13. You're afraid of intimacy. When was the last time you had meaningful eye contact with someone? When was the last time you truly expressed your feelings? To find love, we actually have to accept it into our lives, and relationships don't work out when you're too afraid to do that. Very often, people who have a fear of intimacy will be able to hide it by seeming upbeat all the time, very strong, or by staying busy nonstop. They also avoid meaningful interactions with people and are extremely picky. You might want to also figure out if you have avoidant styles of attachment. Attachment theory says that avoidant people have a hard time developing close relationships and generally want a lot of independence. The problem is that deep down they need love, but most often won't or cannot change their ways. Number 14. You're way too dependent. We all depend on each other. It's what makes friendship, family, or societies work. However, expecting someone to be your whole world or not being able to function without a partner can actually make people want to distance themselves from you. It's not healthy to put all of that responsibility on one person, no matter what love songs or rom-coms have told you. People who have attachment issues, specifically an anxious attachment style, tend to be very dependent on others. The biggest problem is that emotional dependence isn't the same thing as love, and it's important to acknowledge the issue before working on it. As we said earlier, there's no one out there that will fully fill your existential void or that will meet all your expectations. So depending on someone else to deal with everything you don't want to deal with might leave you lonely and hurt in the end. Number 15, you have abandonment issues. We all know those people who would absolutely do anything to avoid being broken up with. And while we'll all do things to keep our loved ones in our lives, that shouldn't mean extreme behaviors, such as controlling them or having a constant fear they might be cheating. Other worrying signs include sabotaging your own relationships, expecting perfection from others, and getting attached way too soon. However, abandonment issues can be fixed, and they're also not your fault, since they develop from different causes such as parents' divorce or emotional and physical abuse. A sign you might be struggling with these issues may be a constant tendency to please others, be it your colleagues or your friends, and also feeling anxious when you think someone is upset with you. Love and relationships are complicated, A-Luxers, and they depend a lot on compromise and effective communication. As a final thought, make sure you take a look at yourselves first before blaming the outside world for being cruel and not granting you with the perfect soulmate you're searching for. And also remember to work on yourself constantly to improve. Before you go, make sure you tell us in the comments what you look for in a partner and why. We'll be right there to engage with you in the conversation. Since you're still here, we have an amazing bonus idea to share with you for today. Number 16. There is reportedly a 36-question test you can take to fall in love. Love is a complicated research subject, but psychologist Arthur Aron might have cracked the code to inducing feelings between total strangers. He created 36 questions that are supposed to actually make you fall in love with someone. His method was even tested in 2015 by a New York Times writer, Mandy Len Catron, who fell in love with someone she barely knew before in about 1 hour. The questions are very specific, such as, what would constitute a perfect day for you? Or, name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. They also get progressively more serious and can reveal lots of interesting things about your partner. Oh, and the best part? Catron and her partner are still together to this day. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.